Welcome to another edition of the 4020 Rugby League podcast. Pleased to say, joining us now, 2024 Golden Boot winner, Rob Hawkins. Rob, how are you?
Good. Except for running a few minutes behind, I'm really good. I'm really happy with the words that you just said there. It's still mental to hear, really.
So, I mean, we're a few days on from it being announced. It's still not sunk in yet for you, then?
No, no. Keep seeing it everywhere. Getting told that it's being posted everywhere, which it's good. It's good publicity for the sport in particular. But it's amazing to see that. See that it's just getting publicized everywhere. I've heard people say it's been on places like it's been on Sky News, it's been on Capital Radio and all that, and it's like, oh, I didn't even I never didn't even think about that. I never even realized that it were on there until I got told. So it's amazing to see and amazing to hear.
So, how do they tell you that you've won the Golden Boot? Did someone just give you a phone call or something?
Yeah, funny enough, I got a phone call with both Martin and Tom all on a meeting, and at first I thought, what have I done wrong? Uh, is there anything in particular more recently that I can think of? Because obviously Martin Coyd, you've met him yourself, and he has a very serious look on his face unless you can tell a funny joke and then he gets a smile out of him.
But you haven't done anything wrong. You've done so. What were you thinking that you'd done wrong? Had you done something in the game against France we hadn't seen on TV or something?
Funny enough, no, I was actually I was saying that I was well behaved in the game against France. No, I don't know. I was literally started thinking, right, I've got both people showing up on my phone at a minute. And originally, I thought it was just a conversation with Tom about the season, just going around the whole team and all that. It didn't even slip my mind about the whole Golden Boot thing. I just thought, right, it's just a interview meeting. We'll see how it goes from there. And then that's when they let me know. And I've been having to keep it quiet since until it got released. So it's finally good to see that it's out in the open, and I can officially say that I've won Golden Boot.
Had you forgotten you were on the shortlist or something? It just completely passed you by that might be what they were calling for.
It weren't even that. It's just I were expecting and like the announcement to be done through International Rugby League. I never thought that it just didn't slip my mind of, oh yeah, it might be Martin Coyd who I have a conversation with, or Tom Coyd, and so it was a bit of a nice surprise for a nice end of my workday as well.
You've obviously got plenty of trophies and medals and stuff already. Have you created space for the actual Golden Boot when you pick it up?
Well, we're gonna have to. I think I've created for this, but we'll have to wait and see for that. To be honest,
Do you know when you're picking it up yet? Has that been officially arranged or?
I've heard something. I've heard something that hasn't been confirmed. So I've
Right,
got a
fair
date
enough.
in mind, but there's nothing that's officially been confirmed to myself as of yet via email. So I'm hoping it's going to be before Christmas, but it all just depends on when it comes back in country. Because obviously they'll have to get it sent over from Jeremy, last year's Golden Boot winner. So we'll see. I'll get the notification at some point, and I'll be able to have it in my hands for a year.
Because obviously you weren't in Sydney, so they're going to have to Photoshop you in with Isaiah Yeo and Taron Aitken, the other Golden Boot winners this year.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I got the actual live stream sent to me, and it's amazing. It's amazing to see. I wouldn't have minded a nice trip out to Australia, but I think I was asking quite a lot there at such last notice. So no, but I think just having it in country, having the presentation in country is the best way to do it. To have family and friends around me, and we can go from there really and see what's next.
So it was pointed out by your club that all four winners of the wheelchair Golden Boot have played for Halifax in the past. What is it about Halifax that creates these international stars?
I think it's a bit of determination and a lot of shouting from Wayne. He's a very loud character in a good way sometimes, depending on what side you get him on. But I don't know really. I think we've just had a very well connected team. Now, obviously, Golden Boot is something that is looked at from a solo performance, but from my perspective, I see it as a full team performance, and that is something where if I look at all the France games, a lot of my tries wouldn't have, well, I think all my tries wouldn't have been set up without someone else there. my training as well, the way I progressed through the sport. It wouldn't have happened throughout without the coaching from Jack and Wayne, as well as through my PT called an ex rugby league player for Halifax, funny enough, Damien Gibson. He's the one who keeps pushing me when I'm not in a chair to basically get up in the morning and get to the gym. And for about 3 years later, I'm still struggling with that part, but we're still getting to the gym, still getting there.
I mean, you're getting there. That's you're doing the process. That's the main thing. You may not enjoy it, you may not want to do it, but you're doing it. What is the motivation to keep going and keep winning these team and individual honours?
No, no, I just enjoy the sport. I enjoy the sport, and the trophies just come along with it. So, I mean, as long as the enjoyment's still there, I'm still going to keep playing. I'm still going to be competing to be one of the best in the world, really. So, well, when I retire, I want to be known as one of the greatest players of the sport. So, that's my determination. But if the enjoyment of the sport goes, then I don't have anything else really. So, as long as I keep enjoying it, that's all that matters for me.
Is Wayne as scary as he looks, or is it just all an act?
Nah, when you first meet him, he seems very forward speaking, a bit and also I wouldn't say scary, I'd say more intense. But the more you get to know him, that's when he kind of softens out a bit. So yeah, to be honest, I don't see it as much as some other people may, but it's just you need to just get used to the way he talks.
Domestically, you picked up the Young Player of the Year award as well, and you got to the grand final. Obviously, disappointment in the result in the grand final, but how would you have rated Halifax's season overall?
I think it was really good. I've obviously, like you said, it was a bit of disappointment for the grand final, but I saw it as a positive. We did fight throughout that full first half. We led in the first half, but I think our game just dropped off, and Leeds were the better team second half. And it's the way rugby goes. It's a toss of a coin. It's a momentum game, and that's just something we didn't have in that grand final for the second half. We didn't have the momentum to stay on our side. So it was one of those games. It was a rugby league game, but I'm really hopeful for what's going to happen next season for Halifax, and we'll see if we can go into the grand final back to back.
An expanded Super League next season. We don't know who's in it just yet. Well, you might know. I don't know, but it's not been officially announced yet. Are you looking forward to different challenges next year?
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. I wish I was in the boat where I knew, but it's a bit of a difficult one myself. I'm in the same boat as you, where I don't know who the teams are. I've got my thoughts around it, but we'll have to see because it's not official. It's like anything, it's not official till the governing body RFL announce it, really.
It's like skirting around the issue, but if one club came in, it would have an effect on Halifax, wouldn't it? Because obviously some players from another club from another country may play for you on occasion, so that would be a different Halifax we'll see next year, or a somewhat different Halifax next year.
It could be, but I think that's a good challenge for us. We've been working to try and see what we can do to play with the squad that we've got. Obviously, there's no discredit towards Jeremy and Seb. I'll always welcome over because it not just betters me, but it betters the team as well. The new players in the team can basically learn off of what the skills that they have instead of just seeing the experienced players like myself, Wayne, Tom Martin, Nathan Holmes, not seeing the same characters. You've seen a different play style from them. You're seeing a more brutal and a bit more of a quickened pace. So it is something that is amazing to see, and I'm very confident. But we'll have to see what happens for next season for Halifax, and we'll see if we have the same team or not. So it's going to be a nice surprise, whatever happens.
Experience, as you say, at age 22. It's a strange because you've still got plenty of years ahead of you, hopefully.
Yeah, it's weird to hear the words experience and age 22 in the same sentence for myself because it's weird looking back on that kid who started the sport when he was just 14-year-old, and then 8 years later I'm winning the Golden Boot and I've got a lot of trophies, medals underneath my belt already. But like you said, the world is my oyster really with this sport, and I'm hoping to bring more and fill that cabinet up a little bit more and hopefully win more World Cups and keep playing internationally.
Well, you was tragic as many of us were and watched the Australia-New Zealand games at silly o'clock at night. It's great to see the progression down in the Pacific as well, isn't it? Because obviously England-France is a great rivalry, but adding more international teams can only be great for the sport worldwide.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think with the international side of things, we were waiting for New Zealand to come in. I'm really happy that they have, and with the way that they can progress as well, it's an amazing experience as well, and an amazing sight to see. And it helps the international scene, as you said, because when we come to a World Cup, it just means more teams, and it means a bigger tournament for us.
You looking forward to facing down the Hacker at some point in the future?
I am, to be honest. I am really excited for it. But I maybe sat on halfway line. I might just take a page from the men's team, and we'll instead of standing, we'll sit on the halfway line, and we'll be staring right at them. So we welcome it, and we can't wait for it.
Yeah, don't get in any trouble. England, France, two great games over the autumn. You won in Wigan, lost in France. What was the experience of both of those games like? Because having watched the game in France on TV, it seemed like a great atmosphere, but B, another very intense, very physical, very close to the bone international match.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, it was an amazing experience. We had, like you said, we had the win in Wigan with a very strong France team. They were still strong, whether they were missing a few players or not. They still had a strong team to basically bring out. And then in France, we barely missed out, but say that was a stronger side than what we played in Wigan. We only lost by 4 points. I was happy with our performance because we still stuck together no matter what had happened. So I think we just need to we just need to fix up on what really happened, what were the errors in our game, and we just look to improve. That's our main thing. We don't try and get too down when it comes to any form of losses. Obviously, it's a bit disappointing, but we look forward and look to see, right, what can we fix for if we get him in a World Cup final, for instance, because that's where it's gonna really impact us. Do we want to lose this fight now, but win the war in 26, or do we want to win every single game and then lose in 26? I know which answer's right for me, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, at least you didn't get sin binned in France either. That was your teammate, so you avoided the trouble from the referees there.
I did, but I can't lie when I did say that me and Ollie did have a bit of a conversation during the first incident. So we'll see what happens from there. But honestly, it was one of those games. It's going to be a back and forth one, and yeah, as long as I stay out of the bin, it makes my job a lot easier.
We spoke after the game with Wigan. You're happy with the new squad number system because you've still got the same number that you would wear anyway. So you're happy with the way that Tom Coyne's going with this.
Yeah, I'm happy for the minute. It's obviously I need to keep fighting for my spot. If I'm for instance I'm not starting, then my number's gone. But either way, a number's a number for me. I'm happy to play in number two shirt. I'd always love to play in it because that's the number I won a World Cup in, and it's the number I've kept playing in from the start. Well, from winning that World Cup. But as long as I've got an England shirt on, that I'm happy.
The England team played against Spain as well on the recent tour, and that must be great that there's enough depth to have almost two completely different teams put out over a weekend.
Yeah, it was an amazing game to watch and experience from the sideline. We had three debutants in Tristan, Jason, and Chris. They played outstanding for their first international game. It looked like they'd played multiple England games previously. Like there was zero nerves from them. They just played how they played in their club level, and I think that's why they really performed. And then you had a returning international player who hasn't played in, I think, since 2015 in Nathan Holmes. So the squad depth was amazing this season, and it's amazing. I can't wait to see how it's going to progress for next year and see if we can have any more debutants.
It was a shame in Wigan that you didn't crash into us because that was quite amusing, taking our life into our own hands, sat pitch side. How fast? Do you know how fast you actually are? I know you do tests in England. Do you know how fast you actually are in a chair?
Don't know how fast I am. I did, just to clarify for the record, I did try and brake.
That would have been funny. If you'd have crashed into us, we'd have gone viral. It would have been brilliant.
It would have been for you guys. For me, I would have probably been in a few meetings and to make sure, and a few lessons on how to really stop a chair again. So that might be going back to basics for me.
Oh, so we just did the RFL. It's okay. It wasn't you, not you. We'd have absolved you of blame. Um,
I don't condone any form of suing of RFL or anything that happens then with any legal action. Just to confirm, just in case a few management may be watching.
no, I'm joking. No, honest. But that pitch side view, it's just. And the fact that Wigan is a venue where the fans are so close to you, it must be great for those watching on just to see how fast it is, because it looks fast on TV, but when you're actually next to where you are, you really get an impression of A, how fast you are, and B, how hard you all hit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can hear the hits a lot more when you're watching it live, and then especially if we look at Mason's, I think it was Mason's first or second try. No, second try it was. I had to think on which one it was. It was pretty much in with crowd. It was hugging crowd pretty much after that second try, and it's amazing to see. Obviously, we're not shy away from it. I know I had a few of the Halifax supporters, some of my sponsors from for Super League last season. They were watching me live, and I could hear them chanting when I'm no matter what side of pitch I'm on, even when I'm about to do an interview with BBC, they're chanting by side of me. So just having that there where anyone can basically watch from any part of the pitch, it's amazing to see, and hopefully we can look more into that as well as possibly some more bigger venues. But I mean, at minute, I think Wigan was the right venue for that game, and it was it was an amazing atmosphere to be a part of.
Just going back to that second test in France, did you get the feeling that they were trying to slow the game down a bit to take momentum away from England? Because that as a non-expert, that was what I was taking away from watching at home. It did seem to drag on a bit at times, and there were wheels falling off and this and that and the other.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely seems like that. I know I was shut down offensively during that game because they just decided to put Jeremy on my side. And I'm welcome to the challenge. I love the challenge of having Jeremy to defend against, but also attack against, because we're teammates when it comes to Super League, but we're not. I'd say rivals more than enemies when it comes to international. So it's an amazing thing to basically have a nice bit of competition against Jeremy when we're not playing with each other.
Going forward into 2025, what do you want to see more of in wheelchair rugby league, as in terms of people turning up, people covering the game? What do you want to see more of, and how can we get that?
It's a difficult question because I don't know what more we could get of. I think anything that happens that can progress the sport is the best way to progress it. Whether that's more people turning up, more participating clubs, more coverage, whichever one it is, it's going to be good for the sport anyway. So I'm just welcome to see the surprise of what's going to happen next. So I can't really necessarily say from my point of view about what I'd like to see because I'd like to see everything. So it's a bit of a difficult question, really.
How excited are you for the World Cup? Because we're closer to the next one than we were to the one you've won. As you said a few times, you've won the World Cup, but now you've got to go and do it again, haven't you? How difficult is that challenge going to be, and how excited are you for it?
I'm excited for it, but my spot's not guaranteed like anyone's in the squad. So I think I'm excited to see what's going to happen, but at this moment it's focusing on working to be selected for that because just because I've won Golden Boot this year doesn't mean that I've got a guaranteed spot in any selection. I've still got to work for it like anyone else, and I'm welcome to that challenge, and I can't wait to see what's next.
So obviously no one's won the Golden Boot twice yet. So is that the motivation to get you when you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to go out and go to the gym in the morning? Is that what's going to push you up? You could be the first one to win the Golden Boot twice.
It is. I mean, that would be a good achievement to be honest. The youngest player in the wheelchair game so far, and the first ever two-time Golden Boot. It would be that is something that would be amazing. So I'll have to keep working for it, and I'm gonna hope to hopefully be named the first ever two-time Golden Boot winner.
Need to get some people to get you out to Vegas, don't we? Because obviously everyone's going to Vegas. Well, where's the wheelchair team? Why aren't you in Vegas?
I don't know really. Our time will come at some point, so we'll just have to wait and see for that. But I think next season's a bit of a busy one, really, because I know we have an international tour over in Australia, and then we may have, obviously, I'm hoping so. I'm just going off of this season, nothing's confirmed as of yet. We may possibly, hopefully, have a game in the autumn time, and just to keep that momentum going. Like I've said, the autumn one, bit of an unknown at this moment in time, but we've got an Australia tour to look at for, I think it's middle of next year. So sky's the limit really for Wheelchair Rugby League, and if we can go to Vegas, I'd be one of the first people to say let's go.
I don't know how we'd fit the pitch onto the stadium, but we'll work on that another time. What if your World Cup teammate Stec Roberts has just announced his retirement? What was he like to play with and against?
Amazing. He was an amazing player. He had really good leadership skills and also good experience, especially for the players who may have not played in a World Cup or newer players who have come into the program. He'd always welcome them with open arms. And it's a shame to see the reason why he's had to retire. But I think with the way it's difficult actually having to move around. It's difficult moving around and holding a phone at the same time. But it's it's a bit of a difficult one to see the reason why he's retired, but I'm happy to see that he's staying in the game and helping out the coaching side of with Wigan. And I know me and him will definitely have a nice conversation after a few of our games whenever we play against Wigan. So it was sad to see him go from playing, but it's good to see that he's still participating in some way within the sport itself.
How can you control a chair and pass a ball and score tries and not hold a phone at the same time? What's that all about?
Funny enough, you're not going to believe this balance. No, because a phone is a lot lighter than a rugby ball to the point where I'll drop my phone a lot more than I will a rugby ball, unless someone's hitting to me as I'm catching it. Then that may be a bit of a different situation then.
Well, if you didn't have the ball handling skills, you wouldn't be the Golden Boot winner. Rob, what's your what are you aiming for then next year? What's the aims for Rob Hawkins in 2025?
Oh,
if you've got any, just at all.
I think the only one at the minute is just make the selection for that Australia tour because I haven't been to Australia yet, and I think that's going to be an amazing tour. Whether that's I ain't been there, whether that's a holiday or just playing the sport itself. Last time I went to Australia was 2019, and I missed out on that selection, so I'm hoping for a bit of redemption there, and so I can go alongside my teammates over to Australia and play the Aussies.
Well, enjoy the ceremony when it happens, and fingers crossed you get the Golden Boot before. Are you going to put it on the table at Christmas? Are you going to have it in the middle of the table next to the turkey?
I'll have to see. I'll have to see. If it is there, don't worry. I will make sure I get you a photo over so you have that.
Well, feel free to bring it in anytime because you're always welcome. But we'll see you in the new year. Have a great Christmas and enjoy whatever time you get to relax over the next. Are you back in pre-season training already?
I haven't stopped training. Gym-wise, I ain't stopped training. So there is no pre-season for me for in gym, but there is a pre-season for chair work. So I'm in a little bit of a pre-season training at the minute, but yeah, work doesn't stop.
Well, if you want to be successful, it doesn't, does it?
That's very true.
Rob, thank you for your time. Enjoy, and we'll see you again soon.
See you soon.
Hello, Richard Shorett here from the Forty20 Rugby League podcast. Now, do you like darts? What do you mean? No, everyone loves darts now. It's popular again. That lad who got to the world final and he wins stuff and he's from Warrington. Anyway, would you like some exclusive Forty20 live darts flights? Of course you would. Even if you don't like darts, I'll throw them. They're a great memento of your favourite Rugby League podcast. What do you mean you prefer James Graham's? Anyway, all I want you to do to get hold of a set of darts flights, that's 3 of them because you have 3 darts, is make a donation to the Leeds Children's Heart Surgery Fund. I'll stick a link somewhere on the video. If I'll put a QR code there, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Send me your details via social media. You can find Forty20 everywhere. You know where we are. And I will send you in the post a set of exclusive Forty20 live darts flights, unless we run out, and then I'll order some more, and then they'll be slightly less exclusive. Forty20 and darts at Christmas. What more could you want? Unless it's after Christmas, and then, just if you want some, just get in touch.